Oh man, carpet is very annoying when you have a roller chair. Hey there, everybody, this is Evan Rogers coming at you with actually a somewhat coronavirus related NHK Easy News article. This is May 29th at, 5:05 p.m. in whatever time zone this is being made. I am in the Eastern time zone. How do you do? This says, 暑い日、人が近くにいない。外ではマスクは外してもいい。Okay, we got this is about wearing masks. Let's translate it. Hazusu is to generally to remove, to de-affix, and this is in the te form of mo-i. So te form of a verb plus mo-i des means it's all right even if you do. It's all right to do. So we're gonna just translate hazusu as the opposite of putting on something that you affix to your face, like for example a mask. And sorry, hazusu doesn't necessarily have to be with your face. It just means something that you affix to your body or to something. Hazusu means to separate. And in Japanese, separating a mask might be the same idea as take off. So, mask o hazushite mo ii. It's all right to take off your mask. Where might you do that? Soto de wa. At least, the wa here is putting the limiting idea to the idea of at the in the outside. Hazusu, after all, would be a verb of action, and thus we need the de particle to identify where that action might be taking place. Soto de, and then the wa particle saying, well, at least outside it's okay to take off your mask. And they are further expounding on what conditions it might be okay to do that. This is the soto whereby hito ga chikaku inai. Inai is the negative form of the plain verb iru, which is it's connected to aru, but it means exist, to be at a location, and it's for things. The rule isn't that it's alive versus not alive. The rule is generally if it can move of its own volition versus if it cannot move of its own volition. People will come back and say, people use iru for cars. Yeah, but we call cars girls in English. Oh, she purrs like a kitten, right? Your car is not actually purring, and it's not a she. So the general rule is if it moves of its own volition, it gets iru, and if it does not move of its own volition, it gets aru. So hito ga chikaku ni inai soto, the outside where people are not nearby. Chikaku ni inai. Chikaku, nearby, ni. This is just one of those weird ones where even though chikai is an e adjective, and then we turn it to the adverb with chikaku, we still further adverbify it with ni. This is just a weird one. The grammar rules kind of fall apart with this guy. Just remember, chikaku ni means nearby. So, hito ga chikaku ni inai soto de wa. At least at locations outside, whereby people are not nearby. So this inai is going into soto. So that's why I'm saying whereby people are not outside. That whereby is what happens when you put a verb / an e adjective. A clause, really, a clause for those of you who are familiar with those terms. Go check out my fancy language series, my fancy language word series, and I explain all those words like clauses and sentences and blah, 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 blah. When we have a clause going into a noun, we use relative pronouns like that. So outside, whereby people are not nearby, at least in those areas, the wa particle, at least in outside areas where there's nobody nearby, mask o hazushite mo ii. And the entire headline has the prefix, I don't know exactly what this means, atsui hi. Sorry, I don't know exactly what it would be called, but you know how headlines usually are written strangely. I will be able to speak one of these days. Atsui hi generally atsui hi, hot days. So, hot days. Where outside when there ain't no people nearby, it's alright to take off your mask, dog. I had a dog because maybe you're a dog, I don't know. Alright, I'm actually kind of excited to do this one because A, people talk about this a lot in America, and B, it's got an interesting grammar point used numerous times, and we're going to see it in this sentence. Everyone, if you've been watching these these coronavirus extravaganza videos, you've seen this clause a million times. Say it with me now. 新しいコロナウイルスが広がらないように. That is what we've all come here. If you get nothing else out of this series, you should be able to say this in your sleep. 新しいコロナウイルスが広がらないように. In order so that, or to make, or to behave in a way that the novel coronavirus does not spread, the COVID-19 doesn't spread. However you want to translate Atarashi Coronavirus to mean the disease that we're all talking about. Kuni wa korekara mo mask o tsukau you ni ittemasu. Okay. Yoni itemasu. Up here we saw yoni being translated as for the purpose of, or so that, or to make, or to make some in a fashion. That's what I'm trying to say, in a fashion. This yoni is the exact same yoni, except it has the verb iu after it, to speak, to say. Imasu, iu, itte. When you have yoni iu, it means the subject is telling somebody to do something. So if you want to tell if you wanted to tell somebody that somebody has told somebody to do something, you need to do that, has issued a command to somebody, this is your yoni imasu, yoni imasu. And this is after a verb generally. So tsukau yoni itemasu. They are telling people to use something. By this point, you should know how an O particle works. They're telling people to use masks, masko. Korekara, from here on out. Kuni wa. So the country is the group that's telling people. This korekara mo is like even from now, even from here, even from this point, continuing from this point, even going further is kind of what's happening here. Korekara just means from here, from now, anything like that. And the mo is just emphasizing it, like even from, even keep on going. It's almost non-translatable, but just it adds the idea of even from now or something like that. Okay, so as to in order to, so as to prevent the spread of the Atarashi coronavirus. But notice even then I get rid of the transitive nature of the ga part of the Hiragana. So that the new coronavirus won't spread, the country is telling, and we don't really say who, it should be a ni, the person that we're telling it to, ni, but we don't have that, is telling everyone to even now continue to use masks. しかし、暑い季節になってマスクを使い続けると熱中症になる危険があります。Alright, 危険があります。There is a worry, a problem, a danger. 危険があります。What kind of a 危険 is it? It's a 熱中症になる危険. So this is a danger that になる usually means to become something. However, we can translate it here as to get sick, and the sickness is netchusho, which is like heat stroke, or you're on the sun too long and you start getting woozy doozy. That's your netchusho. I'm not really sure what the best translation of that, because I didn't bother looking it up because I'm a horrible teacher. But heat stroke, heat fever, getting out, overheating your body. The show here is like a disease or a condition. The netsu here is like fever, and then chu is like, so in the heat disease symptom. Notice how we can say get sick, and that's the same thing as saying to become sick. The food got tasty, the food got expensive, everything got, that basically means become, and so he got sick. We use the same idea of naru even in Japanese, get sick. All right, so there is, ga arimasu, the danger that you might get heat stroke, heat fever, whatever the term might be. And then we have a conditional to. This toes usually have a few different meanings. Here it's going to be the conditional, so just be aware that it's not the quotation to. And here we're not really using it's definitely not the and to, but it's also not necessarily the when to. It kind of is, but really it's more of the conditional nature of that to. Mask o tsukai tsuzukeru to, if you keep using, if you continue using, tsukai tsuzukeru, if you put a stem form of a verb followed by tsuzukeru, you get continue doing. So if you continue using your masks, you might get, there's the danger of getting heat stroke, is the entirety of that clause. And that is predicated on the idea of, しかし、暑い季節になって。However, しかし, however, with it becoming a hot season, the hot season, with it becoming a hot season, however, with it becoming a hot season, if you continue to use your mask, there's a risk that you will get heat stroke. Kono tame, for this purpose, kuni wa. I think we could put a ni in between tame and kune. Kuni. They chose not to. Kono tame, kuni wa soto de hito to hito no aida ga 2 meter 以上ある by, I'm reading like a robot, 2 メートル以上ある場合、暑かったらマスクを外すように言ってます。So, the chief subject is kuni, and the chief verb is telling people to do something. They're telling people to take off their mask. マスクを外す、外すように言ってます。And this is on the condition 暑かったら, if it's hot, and in the condition that there is no one, you're outside and there's no one within 2 meters of you. So let's check this out. Bai is like literally a condition or situation. Aru, aru is there exists something that's we talked about this earlier, that's non-volitionally moving, like a stapler. And that the subject of that aru is aida, so a gap, a space, an open area. And this open area is hito to hito no aida, so a space between two people. A space between two people, if on the condition that there is a space between people and people, and then we're describing that as 2 meter ijo, that is 2, at least, we'll call it at least. It really means more than and including 2 meters. So it includes 2 meters and more. So, 外で, you're outside, 人と人の間が2 meter ijo aru bai. So in the condition that there is at least a 2 meter gap between people and you're outside, 暑かったら, and it's hot, and if it's hot, マスクを外すように言ってます. They're telling you to take off your masks. Who's doing it? The government. For what purpose? For the purpose that we read in the previous sentence. そして、マスクをつけてる. Yeah, exactly. つけてる. This is to affix, and the verb that we're using to wear a mask is つける. That's why hazusu is the opposite. We're not saying nugu. We're not saying nugimasu. We're using hazusu. So anyway. そして、and then マスクをつけてるときは, when wearing a mask, so we're translating つけてる. It should be when you affix something to something else. However, here it's wearing. So when wearing a mask, and as for when you're wearing a mask, 激しい運動しないで. So this is sort of, this shinaide is when you're commanding someone in the negative, don't do something. Undo shinai, don't do exercise. Hageshi, strenuous, vigorous exercise. Don't do strenuous activities. So when wearing a mask, don't undergo strenuous exercise. And then this is the dev, so it's like continuing. Mizu o nandomo nomu you ni itemasu. They're telling you to do that. So they're telling you to drink this mizu o nandomo. We can just translate that as a bunch of water. Nando, this is like how many times? And then the mo particle turns into many times, numerous, all of the times. So drink plenty of water is what that basically translates to. Like nando is like how many times did you do something or something like that, and then the mo makes it all of those. So like for example, if we say like, I don't know,
a few moments later. A few moments later.
Let's say you went to a car stop and you said nandai mo kaitai. So nandai is how many machines, i.e. how many cars, and then the mo, if we add a mo there, it means all of the cars. So that's kind of what's happening. Every of the times is what's happening here. So it's funny to see it written that way. そして on top of that, when wearing a mask, マスクをつけてるときは and notice the limiting factor of the wa particle. If you're not wearing a mask, you're okay for doing strenuous activities, right? So the wa particle is limiting, don't drink a whole bunch of water, and also don't do a whole bunch of exercise, is being limited to when you're wearing a mask. And then the rest was hagashi undo shinaide, don't do strenuous activities, and mizo nandomo nomu yoni demasu. They're telling you to also drink a bunch of water. All right, we're going to pause it there. I'll get the rest of this in the next video. Have yourself a happy, dappy day. Peace out!